FanTeam.com are hosting a free-to-play second chance Fantasy Premier League season game with a guaranteed £100,000 prize pool. Whether you're having a good or bad season in FPL, everyone has a fresh start here. Running from Game Week 22 until the end of the season, it's completely free to enter for all new and existing FanTeam users over the age of 18. We're just days away from kickoff, so head on over and begin creating your team today ahead of the 8 PM GMT deadline on Friday the 14th of January. Welcome back as we continue to ride through a week-long break in the middle of Game Week 21. So far, a score of 43 points minus 4 has seen a small drop to 52k, but we've still got 2 matches to be played, all being well. It seems so long ago now, but last Monday saw David De Gea agonisingly lose his clean sheet late on in a 1-0 defeat to Wolves. Bruno Lage's side took 19 shots, but were restricted to a 0.75 expected goals figure. Only Burnley, Brentford and Watford fared worse in that respect. Alexander-Arnold picked up his 9th assist of the season in a 2-2 draw with Chelsea, but Cancelo wasn't amongst the points when Man City came from behind to beat Arsenal 2-1. Tino Livramento has resumed individual training, but looks set to miss out against Brentford, which would see Antonio Rudiger come in from the bench for 1 point. 2 transfers were made in midfield to sell Salah and Foden to Son and Gray, but neither have turned out so well. The South Korean earned a last-minute assist against Watford, but has since picked up a muscle injury, while Everton's double game week became just a single game against Brighton after Leicester had a request accepted to postpone their match. Mikel Antonio takes a narrow lead over Jared Bowen into West Ham's second fixture of the game week after his goal against Crystal Palace, while Alex Lacazette and Joshua King each saw their team denied penalties in defeats to Man City and Spurs respectively. The incident involving Ederson and Martin Ødegaard was particularly controversial. So with 4 players now flagged as doubts, let's look ahead to the transfer plans for Friday's Double Gameweek 22 deadline. There's just 1 free transfer available, but I'm prepared to take a hit or 2 to freshen up the team. With 5.3 million in the bank, Alex Lacazette will almost certainly become either Cristiano Ronaldo or Harry Kane, who are the 2 standout premium options in Double Gameweek 22. If you've seen yesterday's watchlist video, you'll know the United forward was my number 1 target, but small doubts over his fitness have since emerged. Ralf Rangnick has said he expects the Portuguese international to be available to face Aston Villa on Saturday, so as it stands, my plan is still to go ahead with that move, but I'll be waiting for further news later in the week before confirming. The injured Heung-min Son is also very likely to make way, with James Maddison the primary target. But again, that's a move that will need to be made as close to the deadline as possible, given Leicester's current situation. Hopefully we see a couple of their senior players return from injury, so that game can go ahead. Failing that, if Leicester were to get their match with Burnley postponed, I'm not overly convinced by the other options in midfield. Lucas Moura or Bruno Fernandes are possible short-term punts, but perhaps the more long-term move would be to go for Rafinha, in the hope that Leeds get a double game week soon. Although even with him there's risk involved, given that he's been linked with a move to Bayern recently. I could just stop at 2 transfers, and currently that is what I'm leaning towards doing, but double game weeks are often good times to take hits, if you can target someone who starts both matches. With Livramento and Reece James sidelined, an extra body in defence would be useful. Sergio Reguilon is a target, as per the watchlist, but as I mentioned yesterday, I'm somewhat concerned by possible rotation, given that he didn't appear fit enough to feature in either of Tottenham's recent cup matches. So I'll wait to see if Antonio Conte provides an update on his fitness before considering him. The other thing to note is that Aston Villa could get a double game week 23, as per Ben Crellin on Twitter, which would bring Matty Cash into consideration from next week. It would either be with Leeds or Burnley, so Matthew Lowton could also be someone to consider, if the Clarets were to get back-to-back doubles. But for now, my plan is to delay making that defensive transfer until we get more information. So Son and Lacazette to Maddison and Ronaldo for a 4-point hit are the most likely moves. And here's how the team is set to line up. David De Gea is one of 6 players with the double game week in the provisional starting 11. Across each team's respective last 4 matches, Aston Villa and Brentford have each netted 4 goals, with just 5 teams scoring fewer. Only Southampton and Newcastle have fashioned fewer big chances than Villa in that time. With a double game week for Rudiger, and Alexander-Arnold taking on Brentford at home, João Cancelo would be the defender to move to the bench if an extra hit was taken to sell Reece James, as discussed earlier. But Man City have kept 3 clean sheets in 6 matches against the traditional Big Six teams this season, allowing an average expected goals figure of just 0.59 per game. Potential transfer James Maddison would be the only man in midfield with a double game week, but there are promising fixtures for the other 3. Across each team's respective last 4 matches, Norwich and Leeds both rank amongst the bottom 3 for goals conceded, with 11 and 15 respectively. Diogo Jota has taken 15 shots from inside the box during the last 6 game weeks, with only Edouard and Salah firing more. And no player can rival his 3.11 non-penalty expected goals figure in that time. Mikel Antonio has scored or assisted in each of the last 3 game weeks, averaging 5.7 points per game. Only Kane has landed more shots on target in that time amongst forwards, and only Edouard can better his tally of 3 big chances. Joshua King has picked up just 1 assist in his last 4 matches, averaging 2.5 points per game. But no Watford teammate can better his tallies of 7 shots and 5 attempted assists in that time. Captaincy will come down to whichever premium forward comes in, between Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Kane. Both are strong contenders, and those playing a free hit chip could have a big advantage. Whilst Man United as a team have been hit and miss recently, Ronaldo has been directly involved in 5 goals over their last 6 matches, averaging 6.5 points per game. And since Ralf Rangnick took charge ahead of game week 15, his 3.2 expected goals figure ranks top amongst forwards. So, providing he's available after his minor injury scare, it'll be the Portuguese international taking the armband.